The biggest lie we're told when approaching women is you need Brad Pitt's looks and witty pickup lines to get the girl. The truth is, you just need a few subtle tips that we'll cover as I break down this clip of Brad Pitt approaching a woman in a cafe. Hi, I'm Blaine, I'm a dating coach, and I've been featured in Forbes, New York Times, and Insider for helping thousands of clients like you. Let's get into it. So the first clip we're going to look at is Meet Joe Black. This is a coffee shop scene. You probably find yourself in a coffee shop quite often. Let's see what Brad does well. Immediately right off the bat, as he's sitting down, he looks at her. She doesn't look back, so he doesn't have the chance to make eye contact, but he sets up that opportunity. Glances again,
Morning.
Glances again. Okay, third time he glances, they make eye contact. That's his opening.
I was talking kind of loud there. I'm sorry.
Oh, not at all. It was fascinating.
Okay, so he asks her he says something to her that is relevant to their situation. He was speaking loudly, he'd fumbled with some things in the refrigerator prior to the scene where we cut in, and so he makes a comment about that. That is something they both just experienced. He knows for a fact she experienced.
Yeah, what was fascinating about it?
You and, honey?
Look at that look he just gave her. Eye contact, smile, a little chuckle as he looks down. Mimicry is something to keep in mind as you approach women. People in general are going to mimic behavior they see. If you're smiling, you look at ease, that is naturally going to put them at ease too. So he did that there, and you saw she did smile.
It's my kid's sister. She just broke up with her boyfriend and was thinking about dropping out of law school.
He's providing more details here. He's answering her question, but he's also getting deeper on something about him. He's a kid sister. She's in law school. She's going through a breakup. He's being vulnerable here. You know, he's not getting super deep onto some sob story, but he is sharing something personal about himself, which gives her the opportunity to connect. And look, you see it on her face. She looks, oh wow, concerned. She's connecting with him on that.
I'm sorry.
No, nothing to be sorry about. That's the way it is with men and women, isn't it?
What's the way?
Nothing lasts.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Really? Why? I'm interested.
I was just trying to be agreeable.
That smile again, same thing. He's making eye contact, smiling, and then although you're probably not going to have a conversation with the girl you've just approached about why nothing lasts and love doesn't last, there is an example. You can take something from this. He is asking her what she thinks. Why do you feel that way? Why do you say that? He seems genuinely curious to get one level deeper on the question she just answered. You can use that in the context of whatever you're talking about.
Okay, all right. I was sharpshooter.
Oh.
No, it's just that nothing lasts stuff. That was the problem with Honey's guy. He didn't know what he wanted, so he's fooling around, and she catches him at it. You know, like one girlfriend isn't enough for him.
So you're a one-girl guy?
Yes, I am. That's right.
Right.
Looking for it right now, actually.
Something I want to point out here is you'll notice his posture. He doesn't have a chair where he can sit back in, but you want to avoid, you know, sitting back, slouched, arms crossed. But you also don't want to be leaning forward, hunched over onto the bar. He doesn't have either. He's right in the middle. He's sitting perfectly straight up. He's got padded shoulders on his suit, which gives him a little extra emphasis on his posture. But posture is key because it tells her how you feel about yourself. Having good posture is a necessity when you are chatting with women.
Well, don't laugh. I just got into town.
He's also speaking with his hands. Having open hands and, you know, moving them around to emphasize what you're saying communicates that you are open and also a certain level of trust, whereas hiding your hands can feel like even subconsciously that you're hiding something more.
You get in this apartment? Anyway, so you're a doctor.
How'd you know?
Because everyone's a doctor around here. This apartment building,
He makes a guess that she is a doctor. Even if she wasn't a doctor, it still continues the conversation. Making a guess about where somebody's from, what they do, any sort of lightweight teasing assumption about them can be a good way to continue the conversation without just asking, so what do you do? Or so where do you live? That can add a flirty dynamic to the conversation.
Everyone's in green slippers, green pajamas. The guy I'm waiting for to vacate, doctor.
He's a doctor.
What kind of doctor?
I'm a resident, internal medicine.
That pause there and that smile, A+ for Brad in that one. She says something that illuminates more about her and he likes it. Again, this could be anything. In her case, it's that she's a resident of internal medicine. He gives it a little pause and then brightens his smile. He's not rushing to fill the silence. He's not immediately jumping to the next thing. He gives it a minute, and that is showing his approval or desire. Women, you don't want to be the creepy guy staring and smiling at her, but women want to feel desired. You can make her feel that way by having a little pause of appreciation, taking it in, giving her that smile.
So if I needed a doctor, you could be it.
I could be her. Yeah.
You could be her.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I could.
Now they're just continuing the conversation, the banter a little bit.
I'm working at the hospitals.
I see. This is a lucky day. Just get in the big bad city. Not only do I find a doctor, but a beautiful woman as well.
So at this point, they have already established some sort of rapport, and he indirectly mentions he's met a beautiful woman. Obviously, he's talking about her, but it is a less direct way of saying, hey, I think you're really beautiful, or you are beautiful, which can work, but is absolutely more direct, and depending on her level of comfort with it, she might not be into it. So saying, you know, my lucky day, I met a beautiful woman and when I just came out for coffee is a little more lightweight and less likely to make her uncomfortable. So that's something you can absolutely use when you're chatting with a new woman.
Do you mind me saying that?
Oh, yeah, no, of course. No, it's fine. It's fine.
Listen, could I buy you a cup of coffee?
I actually like that he just directly asked her, hey, can I buy you a cup of coffee? They're actually already at a coffee spot, so it's almost putting the date, hey, right here, right now. It's not, oh, can I get your number and figure out something, you know, at a later date, which puts more pressure on the situation. It's just basically asking, can we continue this conversation? Can I take you on a date right here and right now? This can be a really good method if you are at a place where that makes sense. So if you're at a bar, if you're at a coffee shop, if you know, you're even having lunch together, or you're having lunch at separate tables, maybe you join each other right there, and you can skip all of the rigmarole of exchanging phone numbers to plan a date, because you can just impromptu go on a date. And it may or may not work out, but you're gonna get an answer a lot quicker than having to go through all of the ups and downs of texting and scheduling. You get your answer right then, which can be very helpful and valuable.
I have some patients coming in, so I should probably
Yeah, I gotta
go.
get to the apartment and get off to work. I'd still like to have another cup of coffee. Would you let me do that?
Well, yeah, okay.
So he gets the, she ultimately does say yes to the cup of coffee, somewhat reluctantly, which you do see here. Obviously, this is a movie. I am of the opinion that if a woman declines or seems uncomfortable, you would probably say, you know what? I'll catch you here next time and maybe I can get you that coffee then in real life. But this is a movie, so, you know, of course he has to pressure her a little more and pour her that cup of coffee. The key thing I will note about him pushing for the coffee a little bit more and then reaching over and grabbing that coffee and pouring it himself is confidence. He's not worried if she's gonna say no. He doesn't seem to really care if she does. He's not worried about what people are around or the woman behind the bar is gonna think. He just signals, I'm gonna go ahead and get this. Pours the cups. They take their coffee the same way. That's obviously a cute thing that he could play upon and say something there as well. Like, you know, we cut the scene, but I see we have we'd like our coffee the same way. Like, I wonder what else we enjoy the same way. And then even ask another question like, how do you take your steak? Or what's your go-to breakfast food? But just paying attention to little things that you have in common and then calling them out can be a good way to facilitate further conversation. As you can see, everything we have talked about here has nothing to do with Brad Pitt's looks and everything to do with how he carries himself and engages with the people around him. If you found this helpful, make sure you tap that subscribe button and ring the bell so you're the first to know when I upload new videos.